Welcome to the final match of the Ballarat Blitz. It is the Adelaide Thunderbirds going against Giants Netball, the big 1v8 clash of last year, the Premiers and the Wooden Spooners. My name, Hannah Kuhar, Georgia Rajic behind me. Of course, we are here thanks to the City of Ballarat and Victorian Government. It's been such a splendid weekend of action here in Ballarat. Glad to have you with us, watching online and, of course, in the stands. Lots of fans got around the Vixens as they took the win against the Fever 59-50. Meanwhile, yesterday it was the Giants who lost to the Fever 68-62 and the Thunderbirds defeating the Vixens 62-57. Georgia Rajic, great to have you here in action.
Great to be here. Really excited to see how this game plays out, given the scorelines of the recent games in this weekend. Of course, what happened last year as well across the sides. Well, Giants seem to be in the hot seat. T-Birds unable to score off their centre pass. Really liking the fact we're going to see Jamie Lee Price start this game in wing defence as well.
Absolutely. We'll get you to talk us through the Giants starting seven in a second. For the Thunderbirds, Lucy Austin, goal shooter, Lauren Frew, goal attack, wing attack, Kayla Graham, centre Taylor Williams, wing defence captain Hannah Petty, goal defence Latanya Wilson and Tilly Garrett in goalkeeper. So a consistent front end but very different from centre onwards.
Absolutely. For the Giants, in goal shooter, Matisse Leatherbarrow. In goal attack, Sophie Dwyer. Wing attack, Hope White. Centre, Amy Sliger. Wing defence, Jamie Lee Price. Goal defence, Jamie Podmore-Taylor. Goalkeeper, Erin O'Brien. Really interesting about this game as well, Jo Harton not in the dress. She's sitting in the shorts on the bench, so not expecting to see her in today's game, so it'll be a different shooting lineup than what's traditionally expected for the Giants.
So of the Giants starting seven, we have 5 players who are suiting up in different positions. Why do you think Coach Julie Fitzgerald has made a raft of changes? She's not known for changing up her starting seven, so this feels a little bit different.
It really does. We didn't see much of Jamie Lee Price in general yesterday either, but I think there were some changes were required for that game against Fever, because they just couldn't get the ball into the ring and were really struggling in terms of making the right decision in the attacking third. Their defence was winning the ball, but then they were really struggling bringing down the court. So you see Sophie Dwyer going for the long bomb there to Hope White. I think Hope White's one of the most exciting young prospects we have in mid-court coming through the ranks in Australia as well. So there's a lot happening here, and I think this is the opportunity to let these players really shine and say why they deserve to be in contention for positions in the Giant squad in the future.
Well, of course, Jo Harton, she'll be out of contract at the end of this year, so as you mentioned, not suiting up today. We'll keep our eyes on how the new look goal circle works. Works effectively off that goal, a 5-zip start for the Giants. You wouldn't really have expected that after yesterday's performance. Unusual to stun the T-Birds like this.
Absolutely, especially considering the Thunderbirds went up 5-1 against the Vixens. So they really put in a dominant display from the first whistle. Maybe this is just the Thunderbirds paying a bit too much respect and starting the game with less intensity, but given the Giants' recent scorelines. But, you know, this is good positive signs for the Giants that they can come out firing strong from the get-go.
Well, what positive signs for the 2025 campaign, especially for the Giants. Of course, Suncorp Super Netball kicking off on Saturday the 5th of April. So maybe we'll see a role reversal. The reigning premiers, 2-time premiers on screen at the moment. Maybe it'll be them finishing in 8th and the Giants after this hot start going first. Am I calling it too early, G?
Potentially. There's a long time in netball. We saw in even the previous game, the Fever were able to claw back a 10-goal deficit to 3 goals in the space of a minute and a half. So we know anything's possible, and Thunderbirds aren't a side that rely on the super shot a whole heap. They're a team that's really good in grinding out games, especially winning ball defensively. Something that we noted in broadcast yesterday that they didn't seem to be going full out and trying to get those intercepts, those match-winning games. So I wonder now this will be a little wake-up for them and make them push a little bit harder to win back ball. But of course, there is a very junior attacking line, their front three today. No Romelda Aiken-George across the whole weekend, of course. Georgie Horges not starting in this game, but Lauren Frew was the grand final MVP last year. So there is still plenty of people with experience. I think it's just about making sure they're hitting those connections well, and also doing what they do best defensively, which is winning ball.
Well, our umpires Jordan Kiss and Emily Green get the play back in action. Let's hope for the Thunderbirds' sake it's like a match reset. The first quarter starts again. It's just going to be 12 minutes long instead of 15. But the Giants, they continue their great form. 5-zip now. Can the Thunderbirds find their first goal? No, not if Hope White has anything to say about it. But Wilson has her own hand in the play.
But that's exactly what's needed from Latanya Wilson to step up in those moments as well so they can win back ball. We know she's incredible ball winner for the Thunderbirds.
She was quiet in the first 3 quarters, came alive in the final one. Let's hope she's continuing that form into this match. It'll be a goal line throw in, but the ball's brought all the way under post. O'Brien caught out of play, through for the first, can't make it work. And again, the Giants looking to score off a T-Bird centre pass. Patient wide options. None of them will come off. O'Brien having to be used at the transverse line. Jamie Lee Price, I love that. Calling forward, you got to run. White loping over into the pocket. That's a strong fake. Drive front and great footwork. Gets her into shooting range. Over the long arms of Wilson, she gets another goal, 6-0. Wowee. Not many punters would have thought this would be the start to this match.
Well, absolutely not. This has just been comprehensive in the opening 5 minutes of play. Hope White doing a amount of work in that wing attack position again. A slight change up. I feel like I really enjoy watching Dwyer and Leatherbarrow play together. I feel like they've come through the ranks at similar times, and I feel like it's a very traditional goal attack, goal shooter. There was at points in the game yesterday where Hart and Dwyer were running into each other's space. Of course, we then saw Joe Harton get pushed out to goal attack, play with Leatherbarrow, and I felt like that was a more structured way of playing in the goal circle. But again, the Thunderbirds, they just can't really grab a hold of the ball in this game. It's looking confusing at the moment. I wonder if there'll be changes pulled or if Tanya Ops will be happy to let the players play out this first 15 minutes.
Well, I saw the Giants coaching staff out at the North Star pub last night, but maybe it was the T-Birds who stayed out longer. They haven't yet woken up in this first quarter. Stuck for options, long ball straight into the hands of Dwyer, can't hold on. Wilson again, the barometer, helping to set the pace, trying to bring her T-Birds up with her. Who's going to come flying through? And Austin flying through the middle. And you'd hope now, this one in front of post. Frew couldn't make it happen. Austin does, and the T-Birds are on the board, 7-1, taking them 6 minutes to get their first goal. You never see that in Suncorp Super Netball.
Absolutely not, Hannah. It's just hard to believe, but maybe this is what they need to now strive, the wake-up call, work back on this deficit. You can see that the mid-court defence slightly floating off, trying to push them, the mid-quarters for the Giants, off the circle's edge at the moment as well. But beautiful drive along the goal line for Matisse Leatherbarrow. Tried and trusted for her and her style of play in that goal shooter position.
Well, the last time these two sides played was in round 10 last year, where the T-Birds won by 15th in Julie Fitzgerald's 400th. You might remember that match because it was the Giants' lowest score in history, 42-57, maybe. I mean, this is why we love netball, because the storylines are just writing themselves. Maybe the T-Birds might face a similar fate today. This ball gets pushed into Leatherbarrow. Great bullet pass and a beautiful looping shot. Giants hold on to a 7-goal lead.
Well, there was that period of last season where the Thunderbirds just held so many teams to their lowest ever scores. We saw that with the Swifts' 32 goals, which was just beyond unexpected in the grand final rematch, to say the least. So, you know, we know that the Thunderbirds have that skill set in their repertoire about holding players, really just completely ruining their game plans because of how strong they are defensively. They're not a team that focuses on the super shots too much. They play simple netball, but beautiful work there again from Wilson to try and force it going over the line. At least the Giants will have the throw in here.
Wire goes wide. Front option opens up via Leatherbarrow. But of course, Tilly Garrett she deflects the space, and then her other defenders do the work through. Out of the circle, awkward pass. Again, who will open up? Austin. Great use of body to have defenders behind her, space in front, and the Thunderbirds get the score moving. 5 goals now. T-Birds rewarded with their own centre pass. Through having to look back to the transverse line, not a lot ahead. That one-on-one contest between O'Brien and Austin heating up. I do love the body work of Austin to pull the defensive penalties. How do you rate that GS v GK battle at the moment, Georgia?
Now that the Thunderbirds are on the board scoring, I think it's really important. I've been really impressed with Austin across the full weekend because she's added a couple of different variations. I thought that last season potentially was a bit of a step back for her compared to what we saw her when she was coming through, now that she's had a proper contract and spent quite a few years in the elite system. But she really seems to have been working on her footwork in the off-season. I've been really impressed with her little quick changes of direction and pace. And also she's been presenting really well. As we see Sligo almost go join the bench.
Oh, that was really hard to watch. A goal line throw-in baseline pushed out of the sideline. Again, a play that you don't see it too often. Probably not out of Julie Fitzgerald's textbook. Garrett has to look through the middle. Who's the front option? Through pressed against the sideline. Austin calls with the long arm, but ball awkwardly delivered. Miscommunication between the goal attack and shooter.
Yeah, it hasn't been the cleanest start to this game, we'd say, for either side. So I think, again, this is just the importance of pre-season, having these opportunities for them to iron out any kinks and stuff like that and make sure that they are fit and firing when it comes to the competition proper. But really important to see. That was beautiful play there as well. Matisse Leatherbarrow setting up the screen well to put backwards. Sligo hitting that circle edge so hard and then being able to deliver a bullet point pass.
Oh, the most excellent ball from Sligo, of course. We didn't see her in the centre bib yesterday. She dons it today as we head into the Power 5. So long-range shots count for 2. Well, the T-Birds want to minimise the deficit via a 2. No, they do it via the 1. 6-10 now. Less than 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. No frontline options for the Giants. That's because White wants the backspace, but not if Tilly Garrett has something to say about it.
I feel like we've seen already more intercepts from the Thunderbirds than we did across the whole of yesterday. So, again, they are stepping up when it is required. I felt like for most of yesterday, yes, they were down at points against the Vixens, but they didn't really feel the need to go full force and win the ball back. Now they're in a position where they are down and they are looking, they're hunting. You could see Garrett setting up well, letting that ball go to Hope White so she can go charging at it.
Well, a bold delivery, thankfully in the hands of Leatherbarrow, leans back, and the shot falls backward too. Great rebound, but Jamie Lee Price charging through.
This is why I love seeing Jamie Lee Price in wing defence. I'm really impressed with what she does in centre, but I feel like last year she had such a huge workload on her and doing everything. In wing defence, and we saw her when she played for the Diamonds last year as well, I feel like her skill set is on offer in a way to combat what is now the new style of wing attack where they are the lead playmaker in so many of these teams.
Well, Sligo pushing the ball over the baseline from centre. You wonder if there will be a positional switch. And baseline drive opens up. Austin. She can make it 3 goals now with just over 3 minutes to play. And we'll see our first time out of the day called by the Giants. Jamie Lee Price called for that a couple of seconds ago, saying to the bench, we need a moment to regroup. And after their blistering start, it's a narrower scoreline. What do you think's changing?
I think the Thunderbirds have woken up. I think that was the big thing. They're winning ball back, and also they're allowing the opportunities for the players to win ball. So Hannah Petty in wing defence coming off the body a little bit of Hope White, knowing that Matilda Garrett's going to run onto that intercept. They're hitting their connections a bit better. It's still a little bit off the hands. I can see the fact that Kayla Graham in wing attack and Lucy Austin are having conversation and looks really much about where the position of the ball will be on the feed. I think that's just the moment they're missing at the moment. Jamie Podmore-Taylor for the Giants in goal defence, this is a big moment for her to be playing in the defensive circle for this team. Of course, a Giants Academy product, has been involved in netball in New South Wales for quite some time now as well. So I think you've also got this defensive circle there for the Giants, 2 players who are battling for their positions. Tilly McDonald isn't down this weekend, Jodie Ann Ward on the bench, so you've got a defensive unit for the Giants who need to prove themselves here, which makes the pressure on the shooting circle for the Adelaide Thunderbirds a little bit higher.
Give us an insight into the life of one of these young players. I know you've spent a lot of time monitoring the underage journeys. The frankness of these conversations when you're already really nervous. You're playing in front of a huge crowd here at the Ballarat Blitz, but to make this step up from potentially under 17s, 19s, training partner, and then getting a moment out on court.
Oh, absolutely. The thing is, every single one of these games is an addition for your next game. So it's not just the fact that it's everything that's come before, but it's also making sure that you are in the best possible position. Each step up in the pathway is a massive change. The physicality, the decision-making, the awareness, the speed. We spoke about it a little bit on the broadcast yesterday. Considering the speed of this game, when you get tired, they're the first thing they'll go is decision making. So we're going to make sure with players like Hope White, who's currently got the ball in hand, how she will cope, considering that she was playing 17s not that long ago, representing New South Wales. She won the MVP at the National Netball Champs last year for New South Wales, who swept the 19s, and she is a brilliant young player. So it's now adjusting to this different level, this different speed.
Well, very well said. The wise words of Georgia Rajic. She's across all forms of netball and across Netty Twitter. So hashtag Ballarat Blitz if you're getting around the action from home. And oh gosh, the Giants handed more opportunity off the T-Birds centre pass, which they could have looked to equalise. Now the lateral option from Sligo opens up the goal circle. Leatherbarrow not wanting to shoot from the mid-range. Dwyer ships around, but again, Leatherbarrow closer to post this time, gets the one. And it's a Giants centre pass. 2 minutes remaining, 2 goals in it.
Yeah, and it's getting very close now. So Giants will need to treasure the ball and the opportunities here because, again, they are really favouring those baseline drives. Tilly Garrett coming off the body quite a fair bit, which is leaving them free. Beautiful work there from Taylor Williams.
Yeah, it feels like the T-Birds are stepping up their intensity. Giants need to respond. Price caught out of play. So a 2-on-1 for the mid-court. Spare option wide in Williams as the umpires commence play through. Looks for the high ball. Bold choice over 2 defenders, and sometimes bold choices result in footwork errors.
Yeah, interesting. Jamie Lee Price trying to direct Sligo while she was out of play. Jordan Kiss, the umpire, on that far end, immediately not allowed to do that. So, of course, it's the leadership of someone like Price, who's been the captain of this club for so long now.
Well, we love assertive umpires. They have been doing such a good job all weekend. And they'll continue to do so in the SSN season, which kicks off Saturday the 5th of April. So I know we've got a lot of Giants fans and T-Birds fans, but if you're a Vixens fan, home games at John Cain Arena are on sale now, so head to melbournevixens.com.au or Ticketek to book. So we see a bit of floor action for Sligo.
Yeah, lots of whistle in this game, a lot of contacts being called, which is good because it does speak to the physicality here. I think also we're seeing now more and more difficulty for the Giants in feeding, and especially going for a feed with a shot to follow. So I think the Thunderbirds are doing well, but they need to be aware that this second quarter they'll have to adjust their game plan again because the Thunderbirds are starting to figure out the best possible way to block the feed.
Well, 2 seconds. The shot must be taken. 2 sets of arms. And it won't drop. That will be quarter time. 4 goals in it. The Giants leading the Thunderbirds 13-9. quarter of action of the final match of the Ballarat Blitz for 2025. It's the Giants leading the T-Birds by only 4. After a blistering first few minutes, Giants were up, I think it might have been 5-0 one stage, 6-0, and then how the tables have turned T-Birds with momentum. My name's Hannah Kuhar, Georgia Rajic beside me. G, what are you expecting to see in this second term?
Well, there's been a couple of changes here from the Thunderbirds. Kayla Graham, of course, a really exciting young player, predominantly more a goal attack. She won Rookie of the Year Netball South Australia's Premier League last season. She's gone to the bench. Georgie Hodges has come on. I think that will provide some composure in attack. I really like Graham, but I think playing in a non-preferred system, position in this system isn't showcasing her strengths to where they should be. Really interesting to see some defensive changes as well. Molly Watson going into goalkeeper, another rising star, has won the gold medal at the Australian Netball Championships with the Southern Force. So a lot of changes here for the Thunderbirds, but I think the right changes as well. Of course, you know, Georgie Hodges won the SSN Player of the Year last season, so it's always great to have her come onto the court and show everyone what she does best.
Well, absolutely. Good to see her on the courts of Selkirk Stadium. Of course, we are here thanks to the support of City of Ballarat and the Victorian government. Austin tries to get away with a bounce pass, doesn't quite work through mid-range. Beautiful shot.
Again, Hodges coming in there, getting the pickup. She was third in the league last season for pickup, second in the end because she got 32 when you count the grand final as well. It's a great display of what she's capable of as well, and using her height, I guess, because she's a shorter player. She can quickly get down low and pick up those loose balls.
Well, another shorter player in Hope White who's been doing a great job, but that last attempt from the Giants not working out. T-Birds now, full court transition, short option, Hodges through the middle, through, completely free. And that's the hit to the top of the circle that you want from a wing attack. Austin, great delivery and a great goal. Even ball game now. We waited a while for the Thunderbirds to come out firing. Here we go, 13 apiece. Maybe the luckiest of numbers for the Thunderbirds now to get moving. Free option, Williams. Overlooks the high ball in Austin for the lowered eyes of Frew. And again, some secure goaling work. Hope White needing some secure options. The back line, gotta love Price indicating with her free hand, come forward. But that instruction not being heard by the troops, turnover.
Yeah, again, that was the work of Tilly Garrett. She's twice now. She's really done some important work to get the gain for her side. So, again, these players working into it. We've seen Garrett across goalkeeper, now goal defence. There's little shifts in momentum. I do love seeing her in that goal defence role in terms of what she can do as both a tagging player and a player that gets gains. Again, another fun stat is the fact that she had the most goal assists of any wing defence, goal defence who plays purely as a defensive position. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Tilly Garrett goal assist today as well.
Well, pressure's on Garrett now. Can the T-Birds get the ball back? Loopy ball. O'Brien lucky to hold on to it. And again, Price having to be the driver through the middle. Hope to support Price again. The two look to interplay. Who's going to be the lead forward? Again, the back line for the Giants having to get the ball all the way to transverse. Beautiful pocket drive from White. And I like the setup, 2-on-1 inside the circle. Leather Barrow trying to take out Body, but she'll just take ball. Dwyer out the back. Now she's used mid-range. Step in, lines up, beautiful goal, and the Giants make it back to a 1-goal margin.
Well, that was their first goal for the quarter, so it's crazy to think that in both these quarters, Giants in the first quarter got 6-0, and now in the second quarter, Thunderbirds 6-0. Maybe there's a scoring end, maybe the Thunderbirds will benefit with that, having that end for the last quarter as well, but it does seem to be who can really wake up and get on the scoreboard early, because it's taking a while for both teams to adjust after these breaks.
Well, that's the challenge of pre-season. You have to be on. Remember what it's like to play a full 60-minute effort. At Leather Barrow, she's doing a great job of it so far, equalising 15 apiece now. Gorgeous. And now Williams. Oh, put straight into the arms of O'Brien. There's no easier intercept to pull than that one, going straight into the hands. Price now has Sligo putting her arm up for a hold in the midcourt. That's the defensive influence. And again, some holds on the body. No better one than under the post. Great take from Leatherbarrow, doing the work early to really push her player high, let herself have space out back. Very clever goal shooter craft.
Absolutely, and you can see here in action, Tilly Garrett again. Well, she read the flight of that centre pass, came straight out the gates, really has a fire in her belly this in match day 2 here.
Well, speaking of fire in the belly, you can hear Jo Harton. She's being managed today, so on the bench, her voice, though, echoing through the stadium. Even though she's on the far side of the court, Garrett, unbelievable rebound, dancing around the post, keeping the ball in play, and now driving through the court. Oh gosh, nothing gets you more excited than an unbelievable defensive rebound like that one.
Absolutely, and of course, Matilda Garrett is a Victorian player. I do feel like she steps up her game every time she does play in Victoria as well, which is, of course, frightening news if you're a Melbourne Mavericks or a Melbourne Vixens fan.
Well, of course, she will be going against her old side in round 1 when the Vixens head to Adelaide to take on the T-Birds. So make sure you get your tickets to that one, Vixens fans. Frew gives us something to look forward to in that round 1 match. Another goal, 17-16. Again, neck and neck throughout this second quarter as we approach the halfway mark. And it's a 2-on-1 inside of the circle for the Giants. Do they look long? No. Garrett gets her way back and T-Birds get their hands back on ball. Great drive from Horges, but Price is appealing to the umpires. She thought it was clean. From up here, it looked like her arms were all over her opponent. Meanwhile, Austin, skipping out of court, still skips the ball through the hoop. And it's the Thunderbirds now with a 2-goal lead. They can make it 3 off their centre pass.
And again, this is something we saw so much of last season. The Thunderbirds love the back option off the centre pass. So that's why Matilda Garrett is getting so many of those centre pass receives. It then allows Georgie Horges and also Lauren Frew to set up for that second phase receive. So a lot of the work coming from the back, and it's usually when we see Garrett in one of those wing defence or goal defence positions.
Well, Wilson, she's caught high with great arms over. White, though, can get around them. Dashing into the pocket, huge ball over. Leatherbarrow takes it comfortably. Well, she's not comfortable with that shot. Great arms over pressure, but she absorbs it anyway.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those ones where you're like, this is, footwork call there against Lucy Austin, but the little bit of nervousness, there's plenty of bulks we've seen as well, but also she's using the 3 to the most she can possibly do. Molly Watson came off the body again, got caught up in the screen being set up by Sophie Dwyer. So it is interesting seeing how the defensive circle with, Molly Watson, a player that's come through the South Australian pathway, how she's getting at times a little bit caught out and following the wrong player, which then leaves the brother exposed and by herself, which means she can go straight for the goal.
Well, those fakes that you speak of, Georgia Radjic, they're being used to open up Leatherbarrow again against the goal line. She's very comfortable from that position. It's back to a 1-goal margin. Giants, they can equalise off this one. All goalers out of the ring, hunting back. Oh gosh, Garrett again. She's flying for everything, pushing the ball over the goal line.
Yeah, really excited to see that from Garrett again. I'm excited. We haven't seen Latanya Wilson do, what we saw so much, and makes her such an exciting player across this weekend. Again, I think it's just like a little bit of calmness and composure in pre-season before we hit round 1, but would love to see Wilson also go for some of those intercepts. She was second in the league, of course, last season, behind her own teammate in Sterling Humphrey, who is sitting very comfortably on the bench right now.
Yep, she's donning the T-shirt. I dare say she's enjoying her time there and just being load managed, as many of the superstars of this competition are at this point of the year. Hope she's making the most of her opportunity, but the ball again straight in the hands of Tilly Garrett. Poor decision making from the Giants as Price hits the deck, and great run from Williams into pocket, receives again. Good stop from O'Brien, but it means that Austin is free out back and converts for the T-Birds to be leading by 2.
Yeah, funny how this game is playing out. Saw Giants 6-love at the start of the first quarter. Thunderbirds were down at the break, then out into a 6-love run as well to start the second. Now they're up by 2. There's an opportunity to go for the 1. They're in that stable position now. That it might be only 3 goals the difference between those two sides with that goal to Austin, but they're playing with composure. They're being calm. They always seem to be really relaxed in their style of play.
Well, again, Leatherbarrow free inside the ring, but similarly to the match before us, the mid-quarters not wanting to fling the ball in, instead creating turnovers. T-Birds with long court opportunity. We are, of course, into the Power 5, so if the T-Birds want to make it a 5-goal margin, they can do so via a long shot, but Dwyer, she'll put a stop to that plan, calls her players, run forward for me. As she loops back into the circle and back to post for Leatherbarrow. What a great take and a great goal. Giants, they've got momentum now.
Yeah, really curious to see if we're going to see some changes. I can see that Maddie Hayes got the wing attack bib on, but while the Giants players from the bench are kind of warming up. So I think it might be beneficial to the side to have just an injection of something different. I think while Hope White is playing quite well, Latanya Wilson is making her life and her day extremely hard. I think just an additional support, like what we saw from Sophie Dwyer asking for Purse to run down, without a Jamie Lee Price playing that centre position, she's going to need more support from the players around her.
Well, Hope White that you speak of, she's working hard round that circle edge. Sliger too. Takes very close to 3 seconds to release that ball. Long range. And it doesn't drop. Great defensive rebound again for the T-Birds. They're fighting tooth and nail under post. Up by 3. 3 minutes remaining. Through the middle. Long option in Horges. Short again through. Very far from the post. Austin now also outside of circle. Where's the option going to come from? The mid-quarters spinning their triangles and spinning around her player goes Georgie Horges. Just can't get the right feed. Goal line throw in.
Well, that was incredible to see Horges even get the ball at that point, because she of course had Jamie Lee Price on her, but then also Erin O'Brien came out to also double team her. Unfortunately, she couldn't get the pass through to Austin, but the work that she did just to get that ball was really impressive from the wing attack.
Leatherbarrow heads back, but her defenders are all over it. Still pulls in the 2-on-1. As I love the commitment of the T-Birds defenders. Even though the ball had been received under post, they immediately hop back to prevent the 2-pointer. Clever work. Frew, equally clever, working to circle edge Williams. Back now to Frew, long range. Oh, it runs around and it goes right through. Lauren Frew with the super shot.
That was a delight. The crowd really giving the oohs and ahs to go along with that, because it took 3 or 4 trips around the ring before it finally dropped. You weren't sure if it was going to spin all the way out at that point.
Well, the ball getting up its frequent 5 miles, definitely 3 trips around the world before arriving home. It's a timeout to Giants, of course, with just over 90 seconds to go in this second quarter. They have 90 seconds now to compose themselves. What do you think they'll be discussing in this timeout, Georgia?
I do think what they'll be talking about, okay, you can see Narita Stewart, the assistant coach, having conversation with Leatherbarrow, and of course there's also head coach Tanya Ops talking next to Sophie Dwyer. So I think really the way that they are bringing the ball down the court is where they're struggling at the moment. I'm also just really aware of Jamie Lee Price a couple of minutes ago was spoken to by the umpire after the held ball call. She wasn't involved in where the play actually happened. She was on the other side of the court. So I think there's also some awareness that needs to be managed there in terms of whether she's been saying something or something's been called up. So I think there needs to also be a slight change in the way they are setting up when they're bringing the ball down the court. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a change, especially seeing Maddie Hay was donning that wing attack bib. But yeah, Matisse Leatherbarrow is doing really good work to find herself free near the post every single time. It's really that's not the problem. It's the pass and the pass before that where they're struggling to find their connections.
Meanwhile, the T-Birds, they've had a few different conversations in their units, in their group, now back to units. What do you think they need to do to continue to put the foot on the pedal heading into the main break?
Well, what's really curious is that the Giants have been so happy to double team Lucy Austin, she's a great player, don't get me wrong, but Lauren Frew is very capable of shooting these 2-point goals. So I think they need to be utilising the space there, and it looks like a very hard knock, unfortunately, for Georgie Horges. Jamie Lee Price picks her up, of course, Diamond's teammates.
They're both full smiles. The umpires, though, calling for some mops. Of course, our umpires, Jordan Kiss and Emily Green, very much in control of the action. So we thank our volunteers donning the mops today and making the Ballarat Blitz such a special event. Frew tries to make something special from long range, but the Giants pull in the defensive rebound.
Yeah, really good positioning. Again, Erin O'Brien, I've been impressed with her. I feel like she's taking the opportunity she can and doing really well. I wouldn't be surprised if we see her start more games this season. Of course, Tilly McDonald has been the main goalkeeper. And again, Matisse Leatherborough exploiting the fact that she's being left alone by Molly Watson. If I was the Thunderbirds coaching staff, especially considering, their assistant coach, Kathy Fellows, is one of the smartest defensive minds we have in this country, I would be telling Molly Watson she really needs to track back onto Leatherborough because it's just leaving them too open and exposed at the moment.
Well, she is a Ronald McDonald House Charities ambassador, but indeed left home alone. Thunderbirds now have 38 seconds. Taking their time around the transverse line. Frew puts in a beautiful lob, very well held by Lucy Austin for one. And the Thunderbirds have their own centre pass now, 25 seconds, so plenty of time. All casually rolling back to the centre pass, but I eat my words, they turn it over. Giants want to surge down 14 seconds. O'Brien knows it, quickly finds her spot. And the long ball, White, 7 seconds. Can she get it in? They bomb it high, and the contact won't be given. The long range will not go in. And that will be the end of the first half. Giants, they led early, but they're down by 5 into the main break. You're watching the Ballarat Blitz.
At every turn, in every moment, Ballarat is never what you expect. Welcome to Ballarat, always brilliantly unexpected.
Hey, it's Kate, Sophie and Joe here from the Melbourne Vixens. We've hit the road thanks to the City of Ballarat.
Our first stop is Black Cat Truffles. We're going to see what we can find with some help from some four-legged friends. Let's go.
Let's go.
Hey, Liam, how's it going?
Hi, welcome to Black Cat. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Black Cat Truffles is a truffle farm, restaurant and boutique event venue located just outside of Ballarat. Visitors to the farm can experience a truffle hunt, guided by expert handlers and their truffle hunting companions.
Girl, smile for the camera. As long as I'm getting pats.
So we've got some assistance from the puppies here. How will we know if they've found anything?
So basically the dogs will alert me to a truffle, they'll sniff around, and then they'll alert me by digging in the soil. What's here? What's this?
Oh, it looks like Hugo's found something. Well done, Hugo. Applause for the dog. Oh, you can hear
Just
it.
there. There's a truffle.
Good job.
Really mushroomy, really earthy. We supply some really great restaurants in Melbourne.
Got some goods from Liam's hard work here, and I think Kate, Sophie and I are really interested in trying some of this relaxed elegance in terms of service you were talking about.
Yep,
So
absolutely. Let's head back to the restaurant and we'll sort some food out for you.
sounds good.
In Black Cat's restaurant, Liam Downs, an award-winning chef, has a farm-to-table philosophy, serving up fine dining experiences using quality local produce.
Sophie always claps her food when she gets excited.
If you're sitting out there eating, you could feel like you're anywhere in the world, so we try to make people feel happy and welcome.
Well, that was amazing. I don't know how we're going to top that, but I think we need a carb load for training tomorrow. Let's go get some lunch.
Thank you very much. We are here at Carboni's Italian Kitchen. We're lucky enough to be getting a masterclass from the chefs today. Let's go. Ooh, this is cool. This is so fun, look.
Carboni's Italian Kitchen is a deli and restaurant and a Ballarat institution. The restaurant offers an authentic Italian dining experience, and Carboni's is also famous for its cooking classes.
Fresh pasta, is that what we might be making today?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, I think we should give it a crack.
In front of you, each of you has a bowl with flour and semolina, and we're going to make a pasta dough.
Well done, Joe. How are you going over there?
I'm making it happen. It's pressure next to the professional chef next to me, but that's okay. I work well under pressure. Sophie, it's not a competition. Wow. Sophie, that is really incredibly impressive.
Which is very good for hand roll.
Hear that, Joe? Perfect. Is that pasta or is that short crust pastry? I'm happy with that. We definitely should probably try some pasta.
At Carboni's next door, visitors can grab a coffee, panini or pastry, or stock the pantry with a selection of fresh pastas and antipasti.
I don't know about you girls, but I'm so full. That was delicious. I've been given some good recommendations for the vintage market. Should we go check them out?
Let's go check it out.
Do it. Woo! All right, girls, we're at the Ballarat Vintage and Collectibles Market. Should we go have a look what's inside?
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Woo!
I know, I actually think we should get some little treats for the drive home.
The Ballarat Vintage and Collectibles Market is located inside the Great Southern Wool Shed.
Ooh.
With over 80 stalls, the market is the go-to destination for visitors searching for rare and unique items.
Oh my god! No way.
What have you found?
That's a bargain. Oh my god. Did we plant this?
Coast to coast. And it's that popular, it has to have a security tag on it.
That's so funny.
Put it right front and centre.
Whether you're looking for vintage, retro, collectibles, antiques or furniture, or just looking for somewhere to browse, the market has something for everyone.
Joe. That was better than I thought. I think these ones.
Same.
Time to make our purchases. That's our third and final stop for the day. Soph's got her purchases. There is so much to do in the region. Make sure you head to visitballarat.com.au to plan your next trip. See ya.
Georgia Rajic beside me. Gee, it's been a seesawing first half of netball. Hopefully more consistency for both teams in the second half.
Well, more consistency potentially, but lots of changes across the court for both teams as well. You can see that Shamira Sterling-Humphrey has made her way into that goalkeeper position now for the Thunderbirds. Tilly Garrett remains in goal defence. Lucy Vojvodic into wing defence. Sophie Casey into centre. It looks like Georgie Hodges will remain in wing attack, but Kayla Graham has gone into goal attack and Lucy Austin into goal shooter. A lot of changes as well for the Giants. As Jamie Lee Price, who's made the move into centre, offloads that first centre pass. Maddie Hayes made her way onto the court for the first time in wing attack, and the shooting circle remains the same, but defensively, well, Amy Sligo's gone into wing defence. Goal defence is now Erin O'Brien, and Kalia Iongi has gone into goalkeeper.
Well, lots of new faces. Of course, Iongi, we haven't seen her so far this tournament. Shamira Sterling-Humphrey, this is the first time we've seen her this game. So, a lot of interest in both of those goalkeepers. We'll keep our eyes on them. Meanwhile, ball down the middle of the court. Thunderbirds find Austin, uses a fake. She's got eyes only.
And that's a beautiful offload from Kayla Graham, something I've come to expect from her over the years when representing South Australia in the age group championships. But again, that's why I think that's putting her into her preferred position of goal attack will be more beneficial than for the Thunderbirds, and putting her in wing attack, because she just has a really good connection with her fellow shooters. She knows her space and awareness a bit better.
Of course, Graham starting in wing attack, as you mentioned, for the first quarter, rested throughout the second. Hodges has to find a triangle. Who will be the zest around? Only Austin along the goal line. She's been shooting comfortably from the other side of the post along that goal line. Can't do it on this time. But luckily, luckily Graham can. Giants. They're pushed off the centre pass. Got to love the physicality that the T-Birds are bringing through the middle. Great work from Garrett to push Dwyer high. And again, all goalers out of the ring. Dwyer pushing back to post. Finds body and rolls out. Won't be used though. Or maybe she will be. Just has to be at the 3-second mark. Leatherbarrow has been a star throughout the first half. But Dwyer gets herself on the board. And it's a 4-goal margin. Great fake across. And again, Austin finding the same ball, same spot. Has to offload. Graham now mid-range, lines up for the pass. Sneaky good a goaler to goaler, as you mentioned, G. That chemistry between the pair paying dividends.
Yeah, Hannah, I think it's also really interesting. We've spoken about within this game as well, the narrative of what's happened in the first 2 quarters. Giants started off the game with a 6-zip run. Then the Thunderbirds started off with a 6-zip run. This has been remarkably more calm, both teams getting early goals at the start of the quarter. The deficit has remained the same for the Giants. They're still chasing 5 goals as they were at the major break. But I think this is a more positive start for both teams. They've been right on to where they need to be from the very first whistle to open up this term.
Well, speaking of opening up play, Price with a clever work onto the circle edge, just driving through. Got to love the power of when she has the ball, already takes a first step to get ahead of her defenders. Great that her teammates capitalise off her hard work. Short ball now, Hodges high. It's a lovely ball into Austin. She won't take the shot though. Offloads to Graham now, mid-range. And that's a lovely shot. Thunderbirds holding on to their 5-goal lead. Almost 5 minutes into the quarter. Sligo, she shifted back into the wing defence bib. We've seen her play a lot of the weekend there, doing the positional swaps with Jamie Lee Price paying dividends. Sorry, Georgia.
Oh, also just going to say, really liking Jamie Lee Price now being injected into centre. You can see the difference that her leadership provides in that position compared to wing defence, although I have really enjoyed her as a wing defence. Again, I think it's just based on who is playing for this team. With Maddie Hay on the court, there is a bit more leadership and composure, and we saw it yesterday as well. Maddie Hay switched between wing attack and wing defence. She played a little bit of centre as well, but whenever she's on the court, I feel like the Giants perform better in their attack end. And it was, safe to say last season as well, she missed the first 6 rounds due to a major hip injury, came back via the New South Wales Premier League, and then played properly in round 7. So having her on the court always pays dividends for the Giants.
Well, speaking of paying dividends, Claire Yongi, she had a nice deflection in that passage. Of course, the previous vice-captain of Tonga now suiting up in Giants colours. Great to have her back on Australian shores. Previously a Swift, number 105, and a Giants training partner. She has ball in hand now. Sligo short. Now pushing to Hay. Her first few minutes in the wing attack bib for the day. Price uses fakes, and now the open via Dwyer along the goal line. And the score lines keep ticking over. Thunderbirds trying to hold on to their 5-goal lead. Going wide. Looked like Hay was going to get hands on it. Just jumped straight into the defensive third for the Giants. Now you see the stack that the goalers are setting up. Great coordination between the pair, opening up Austin with plenty of back space. Yongi trying to have a chomp at it, but it's O'Brien out of play. That's great coordination again. This front line humming away for the Thunderbirds.
Again, I think the switch of putting Horges in wing attack, she's able to adjust her play to those around her. Of course, she's like the most brilliant chameleon we probably have in netball, because she can play across wing attack and goal attack, and she can really understand what her team needs in that moment. Strong front sweep from Dwyer, and great to pull the contact there from Garrett down the other end.
Well, best chameleon of netball. I wish that was an award we could give out at the end of the year. I reckon Netball Australia, who'd be listening to this live feed, they're taking notes. Georgia Rajic, as Sligo, she goes hunting, caught out of play, 2-on-1 now in the mid-court, and a beautiful open up for the Thunderbirds, making the most of the +1 opportunity into post again. Austin, so clever with her body work. Back option opens up. Excellent work from Sligo on that passage, and an even better pass. Beautiful feeds now for the Giants. They keep humming along, and it's this 4-5 goal margin that we're stuck with for the first half of the third quarter.
Well, with no Latanya Wilson on the court, she had a couple of really key intercepts as well. Matilda Garrett really stood up in that second term as well. So wondering if now that the Thunderbirds have got a little bit of a stable lead, they're not really in the mood to chase and win those impressive intercepts or gains. They're happy to just let the play continue on, just stick to the basics. The time for the big, highlight package, probably not what they're looking for in this game, which is interesting because of how they have previously played over the past couple of years. I'll be really curious to compare what we've seen over this pre-season weekend and when Super Netball starts up again on Saturday, the 5th of April, when they take on the Vixens in round 1.
Oh, well, I'm glad you've mentioned it, G, because you can get tickets to that match on melbournevixens.com.au or Ticket to Book. If you are a Vixens fan, don't even wait till then. Sunday, 23rd of March, the Vixens host their annual Fan Day at Fed Square. So, free event, bring down your entire family, friends and neighbours, meet the Vixens, grab new merch and have a fun day out thanks to the City of Melbourne.
Well, that's great news, Hannah. I'm sure I'll be there.
Can't wait to see you there. Wonder if the T-Birds will make an appearance. Casey, though, will make an appearance on the sideline. Short ball. Oh, great work in. Awkward footwork, though. It has to be a long shot for Graham, unless Austin will open up under post. Really traditional setup here where you've got the tall goal shooter holding firm under the ring and the goal attack doing a lot of sweeping. But, geez, it's working for the T-Birds. I wonder if that's the impact of new specialist coach in Erin Bell returning to the fold.
Yeah, it's also great to see, someone who is such a stalwart of the Thunderbirds return in that coaching role as well. We've both worked with her within our roles in commentary as well, so nice to see her being rewarded. Of course, she'll also be head coach of the Casey Demons in the Victorian Netball League, which is starting up on the 12th of March. So if you are a fan of Victorian netball, make sure you also stay tuned across Netball Victoria's Facebook page, and of course Community TV will be broadcasting some of the games as well.
Some of those matches even here at Selkirk Stadium on Wadawurrung country in July. So big double-header to look forward to for First Nations round of the VNL. Dwyer, mid-range, dead in front of post. It's just too short though. Over the baseline, sails the ball, and full court transition moment for the T-Birds. They would have practiced this many times over the summer. Price, she practiced it too, forcing the ball out of court. And that is a great turnover for the Giants. Still pushed against the sideline. Garrett comes up with the ball, and that was a risky play from the Giants.
I really feel like Garrett can just turn it on in her brain and be like, no, I'm going to win it back immediately. She has had this ability throughout the game, just playing steady, and then all of a sudden she just decides to take the game on her own back, which I've been really impressed with her style of play.
Well, as we see, deflection, awesome work, Giants. They hear the siren for the Power 5. So if they want to catch up this 5-goal deficit, they can do it via the two-pointer. Now, literally not a single player moving. What's going on with this stagnant front court? Price, short ball. Dwyer has to help. The post is open. Great decision to go to Leatherbarrow. They do it exactly. It was so good they did it twice. Leatherbarrow under post gets the one. It's now 4 goals in it. T-Birds have hovered around this margin this entire quarter. Will they surge ahead? Garrett. Beautiful Austin. Strong ball. And again, Graham just was hovering around that line, wanted a 2-point shot, had to take it on the other side of the court, lining up, and doesn't work out. Great rebound from Lucy Austin.
It really did look like it came off the fingertips of Yongi with the defensive 3-foot pressure as well. So making it a little bit difficult for the junior shooter in the ring to really go for those 2-point shots.
Hay indicates Dwyer, you need to come forward. She does exactly that, and Price bulldozing through. I mean, she's an S&C coach's dream, how strong she is. So strong on circle edge. Dwyer putting up a strong shot and sinking it. Gee, she's good from 2-point range. Now it's just 3 goals in it. The margin shifting for the first meaningful time in the third quarter.
It did really feel like one of those moments as a shooter when you see the defender throwing everything you can, but it only makes you focus on the ring harder, and then you get that beautiful swish shot that goes straight through the net.
Well, netball fantasies are coming alive. Austin, she tried to have a beautiful swish, but instead the 1-pointer from Frew. Oh, sorry. Player ID's off there. Graham under post can't make it work.
I'm really curious, Hannah. The accuracy hasn't been at the level we're kind of accustomed to at Super Netball, so I wonder if that's something that the teams will be focusing on in the lead up to round 1. Just because we don't have the statistics with us, but on the eye test alone, it does feel just slightly off.
Well, Sterling Humphrey, she's on. Great arms through to deflect that ball and flick it to her teammates. It's her first huge defensive impact of the quarter, and it's come at the right time. Borges has to go high. Garrett, great one-handed take, and that is a strong ball. Under post, Graham. That's a secure 1-pointer. Scoreline keeps ticking over. Giants now. Hay doesn't have a lot to look for. Price ducking into the pocket. Love the communication here. Dwyer saying, give me the short ball, give me the long shot, because I'll kill it every time. Sophie Dwyer turning it on in this Power 5. Graham wide.
And that's why she was second in the league for super shots last season. She's got the confidence to go long to post at any point in the game, but you know that she'll turn it on in the Power 5.
Meanwhile, Yongi tries to snatch ball off ground. Just be a tight one-on-one. Where does O'Brien go? She hedges her bets in the middle, and Giants, they can't hang on to the play, but encouraged nonetheless. Erin O'Brien That goal defends Bibb. She's protecting the space. Concedes the front option. Austin now for 2. She doesn't respond. Wadawurrung coming up with ball. Huge cheers off the Giants sideline.
I've really enjoyed Iongi since she's come into that goalkeeper position. I feel like she's winning ball back really well against Lucy Austins, and they match each other physically quite well. She's able to get around the body quite easily, but also when it comes to going up in the air for those rebounds, she really does provide a good steady hand to get up there, and you've seen quite a few contact calls against Austin when she's going for the rebounds against her.
42 seconds now. Giants running out of time to seize a lead in this quarter. They make it a 1-point game with their own centre pass to come. Don't want to waste time now though. The clock stops on exactly 30 seconds. Price overlooks the back option, goes front. Garrett cleans up body. There's no call. 22 seconds now. Everyone's on the floor. There's no one to receive the ball. Wide, Sliger, 15 seconds now. Short ball, Hay. She's got a baseline free. Opts for the front in Leatherbarrow. Over very long arms. 2 sets of them now. Sterling Humphrey tries to make an impact. She does so, but Leatherbarrow holds onto the rebound. Can't hold on to the pass though. It'll be a 1-point game heading into the final quarter of the Ballarat Blitz. It's the T-Birds leading the Giants 39-38. that into the last quarter of the Ballarat Blitz, it would be a 1-goal margin. Netball loves drama, and you just feel like this final 15 will be filled with plenty of it. Hannah Kuhar, my name, Georgia Rajic beside me, 39-38. It's going to be a lot happening in the next 15. Who's going to take it out?
Well, I do have my money on the reigning champions in the Thunderbirds, but you can see there's a couple of changes there for them too. Lauren Frew has returned to the court and goal attack, and this time Kayla Graham has moved into goal shooter. So we've seen Graham play goal shooter, goal attack and wing attack in this game alone. Also, the first time that we've seen Latanya Wilson in goal defence with Shamira Sterling-Humphrey in goalkeeper in this match as well. So some changes there. Matilda Garrett going to the bench, Lucy Vojvodic staying in wing defence, and Sophie Casey remaining in centre. So still getting an opportunity for some of their young guns coming through the pathway to stay on the court in what will be a very tight tussle to finish off a beautiful weekend of netball here in Ballarat.
Yes, that beautiful weekend, thanks to the support of the City of Ballarat and the Victorian Government. I'm liking the move of Jamie Lee Price into centre. It feels like she's been chomping at the bit to have a huge impact on this game. Can she do it from the position of centre? Have to wait and see. I think from those substitutions that you talked us through, G, it feels like both teams are taking this match quite seriously. Both coaching lineups saying, we want to win this final term, we want to win the match.
Absolutely. There is not long to go at all until that first game of Super Netball. And, of course, all these little wins do add to the confidence for these players. Somehow Latanya Wilson getting a hold of that ball. But I think also it's just making sure that they know that they have the ability to fight themselves out of tough situations. And, of course, Captain Jamie Lee Price standing up there to get the intercept for her team.
No bigger fighter than Jamie Lee Price. Up to top, Dwyer. Pocket now, Hay. Who's the front option? The Dwyer sweep, so effective all weekend, as is the jump of Wilson. Oh, geez. Tussle under the post. Feels like the defensive combo that worked so well at the T-Birds starting to come to light now.
Yeah, a bit of a tussle and a cuddle as well. Shamira Sterling-Humphrey just trying to get the ball any way possible around. So, again, we're seeing a lot of the Thunderbirds really utilising their wing defence and goal defence off the centre passes. It's tried and true for them throughout the past couple of seasons, and it means that they can set up a little bit further with their attacking players down the court.
The T-Birds have the best defenders in the world. Most ball, they get their hands to that one, or maybe it was just pushed out. I think Wilson got the tip, but definitely didn't end up in the hands of Dwyer. Full court transition now for the T-Birds. Lofty ball. Luckily that it was taken in the defensive third and not pushed over a third. Casey uses the front hold of Gorgeous. Gotta love it when small players use the front hold. Such an effective move. Just is the spin move. Well placed by Casey. This will be long arms over by O'Brien. She'll come up with the rebound and the pass around the post.
I love it. I also think it's really interesting coming into this quarter. Whoever is shooting to the right of your screen has won the quarter. So we did see the Giants start the game off really strongly. They brought it back very well in that third quarter as well. They were down by a significant margin, able to just hit their connections a bit better. Again, we're still struggling at times to make sure the timing of their passing is correct. Thunderbirds have had quite a few changes in their shooting circle, and of course we've seen Kayla Graham play across all three front three positions. So I think now in goal shooter she'll have a little bit of composure. I think she does her best work around the circle and in the circle, so I do really like seeing her in that position as well.
Well, as you mentioned, Georgia, Kayla Graham, we've seen her in wing attack, then moving back to goal attack, moving back to goal shooter. Let's hope she is the player to get it done for the T-Birds. Kay, great option in Leatherbarrow, under the post, mostly by herself. Guess that's what happens when your defenders are willing to hunt for ball. Clever work from the Giants.
Sophie Dwyer wasn't even in the ring for that entire last passage. She did have to have a second look in when the initial shot by Leatherbarrow didn't go in, but she had so much faith in her shooting partner that she'd be able to mop up any rebound, get the ball in, and I think that's also the sign of the relationship between the two.
Yongi tries to go for the jump. Ball ends up with Graham anyway. Knocked out of position, take another shot. And suddenly the 1-goal margin now becomes 2. So Thunderbirds wanting to get their jets on. Giants. Swing ball. Price popping up top. And love the little fake dodge of Leatherbarrow. Creates enough space. She just needs a little bit of breathing room. She knows she can convert from there. Horges. Again, Graham having to find options via the back. No one offering front. Maybe they're just offering all to the same spot. Horges, thankfully, pushing through. Overlooks through. Great ball into Graham and an even stronger take. Mid-range right in front of post. Usually a comfortable spot. Doesn't work. Iongi coming up with the rebound.
Yeah, I'm really a bit impressed with Iongi, and I like seeing Aaron O'Brien in that goal defence position as well. I feel like it's been the stronger defensive partnership for the Giants throughout this game.
Leatherbarrow splitting through the middle. Swing ball now. Price uses a soft fake and artfully placed ball out wide. Sterling Humphrey, though, those electric feet, swapping attackers so deftly. That combination of Wilson and Sterling Humphrey. Wilson coming up with ball, of course. That's the reward for defensive effort from the pair in pink. Through the middle, Horges passes. It looked to nobody. Luckily, the chase was on. The double dodge now again. Graham trying to free herself of Iongi. Through. Will she go for the long-range shot? Nope. Not even close to the power five. Much smarter to work it to post as she does. Graham right under it now. And that's a great one-pointer. 2 goals again. We've been between this 1 and 2 goal margin for the first half of this fourth quarter, but now a timeout to the Giants.
Yeah, curious, because I feel like with the previous game, obviously, we got really accustomed to West Coast Fever having their set timeouts every single quarter. But I feel like it's been such a long time since we've had it, and I guess because of the way it's been flowing. But, Hannah, what do you think's being said here from either team? The Giants definitely within striking range.
Absolutely, and we see Coach Julie Fitzgerald at the helm. She's got the whole group together. I'm trying to figure out what she's saying. Very demonstrative with her hands, but I can't quite see Hay in the way. Meanwhile, down the other end for the T-Birds, looks like they're having one consolidated chat too, Georgia.
Yeah, it does seem like it's just consistent messaging. A lot of the conversation being directed towards the shooters and attack. So I can see that definitely where Tanya Obbs is talking to while she's varying her conversations. Kathy Fellows also having an important conversation with her defenders. But very curious to see if there's any changes at all for the Giants or the Thunderbirds. I wouldn't imagine for either team. They seem to have been settling into this game quite well, Hannah.
And this is the fun of pre-season, right? You're coming across scenarios and trying to learn, okay, what would you do if you're up or down by 2 with 8 minutes to go? This is the time to put the momentum on. So a lot of momentum here at Selkirk Stadium. Of course, if you want to return to the stadium, V&L's got their double header here on Wadawurrung country in July for First Nations round. So come on down if you're in the vicinity. And of course, plenty of SSN netball kicking off from Saturday, April 5. Giants kick off the action now. Swing ball, O'Brien, lucky to pull it in. No front options. Price, she'll move laterally. Oh, it almost looked like her feet were going to cause a turnover, but hey, pops it up, and again, that hot spot for Leatherbarrow under post. She has been a dominant player this match.
She really has. And I think, again, it's just, we know that Jo Harton, she is such a stalwart for this Giant side, been there since day one of this competition as well. But I think it's also important when it comes to what is next. We've seen her, unfortunately, carry a lot of injuries the past couple of seasons, that they do really need to test out these combinations and bring them out when things aren't going to plan, but of course, in case there are any injuries to their starting 7.
Oh, Jo Harton, of course, she played yesterday against Fever, being rested today. It was all in the plan, the Giants have told me. So don't be stressed, Giants fans. But, of course, you do have to question what's life like for the Giants post-Harton. She's out of contract end of the season. We'll see if she signs on for another year in 2026. Price, though, she ends up with ball, but it's turned over, tripping over the ball as well.
Of course, Harden also turning 36 on the 21st of March, so her birthday is coming up as well. So, you know, she has been assistant coach at the England Roses level. She is obviously a huge leader in this team as well. So you can't help but think and you've also been coached by her yourself.
Yes, no, I can vouch for her coaching expertise. I love the way she speaks to players, but her netball brain is just incredible. So Well, keep eyes peeled. 36, you say. That is quite the age to still be playing SSN netball. So we saw an earlier birthday, Alice Teague-Neald's birthday today. She turned 29, so what a way to celebrate her big day. No better way to do it than playing netball at the Ballarat Blitz.
Absolutely, of course. A former Victorian pathway player, so I'm sure playing netball in Victoria with her friends and family able to come watch is something special as well before she'll head back home to Perth for the season to start.
No, plenty of beautiful hospitality venues in Ballarat region, so I dare say she'd be celebrating. Meanwhile, Dwyer, she searches desperately for an option, gifts the ball to Leatherbarrow, and again, just that lateral shot right under post. She's so comfortable, 1 foot or two, she'll get it done. Matisse Leatherbarrow shooting the lights out, 1 goal in it now. We're 50 seconds away from the Power 5. How quickly that 1 goal scoreline can change. Short ball through. Has to go round the baseline to find some sense of space away from Iongi. And that is a beautiful step in and score. Thunderbirds springing ahead to 2 now. Price takes very long to release that centre pass, too long. Umpires calling it a held ball.
Yeah, just curious about what's the options coming forward for Giants, who's veering up their dodges and providing, I think as well, just needing some support. We saw it earlier, we've been seeing it throughout the game and throughout the weekend, and with no surprise, we're going to see another timeout for the Giants because, you know, that is a little bit of a cause for concern when you get a held ball off that centre pass.
Absolutely, and a momentum shifter. Giants with 2 timeouts within about 2 minutes. So interested to see if Coach Julie fires a rocket up her girls. They have to do better off the centre pass because when you're having a held ball from a centre at SSN level, I mean, there's a reason why we don't see it very often because it is pretty crazy. Meanwhile, the T-Birds, they're looking comfortable. What do they need to focus on in the next 5 minutes? Of course, up by 3, it's a good position to be in.
I think it's just, I think they need to just keep doing what they're doing. They're hitting their connections. I think it's also good seeing some of these youngsters have a good go of it. Vojvodic, of course, has been in a very difficult position of who she's been having her direct opponents in terms of often being placed against Jamie Lee Price. But I would love to see her potentially get some sort of gain in this game. But I'm really impressed with everyone. I think they're doing everything they need to. I think they're playing steady. They just need to make sure that they stick to simple netball to see us out.
Well, let's speak about that play you just mentioned, Lucy Vojvodic. She's come out of matric, so in the SA Premier League, a gold medalist at Nationals in 2023 with the under-19 side and Commonwealth Youth Games. So a lot of experience at that younger level. How are you rating her step up into the big leagues? Of course, a huge weekend for her at the Ballarat Blitz.
Yeah, I think it's a very difficult position to be going against considering, like I said earlier, about who is playing wing attack in these games and also having to come against Jamie Lee Price. But I think it's also an opportunity now for her to really adjust. You can see what I really liked in the 2 years ago at Bound for Bendigo, which was the tournament, the big tournament that was similar to the Ballarat Blitz then. We saw Sophie Casey don the pink dress for the first time. So I think you can see Sophie Casey has now really adjusted in those 2 years since at the pre-season tournament. She's getting more minutes. She is providing more of an option. I thought 2 years ago she was getting lost at times. I think it's just, again, we spoke about it before on the broadcast, coming through these pathways, getting used to this level. There is a slight adjustment period. I don't think if Vojvodic has done anything incorrect. I think it's just now it's time for her to do what she does best, take those intercepts and shine.
Well, how great that Bound for Bendigo is back on the calendar later this month. So much work being done by Netball Victoria, the Victorian government, City of Ballarat, Bendigo, everyone getting around netball. Don't we love to see it? Getting around it too are the T-Birds, slinging the ball through the middle of the court. Horges pushing into pocket. Casey, an express delivery into the goal line. That was a great ball from Casey. You speak about young players adjusting and the impact that Casey's had over the last few years. That was the best reflection of it. Price tries to work herself a triangle, but instead Hay will be the recipient of that third pass. Dwyer, long range, Pakes has to fake twice, still gets it in. And this is why the Giants are so encouraged in the final 5 minutes when they have Sophie Dwyer at the helm. Can Graham do the same thing? No. Looks to pocket. Through now, presenting for 1 point under the post. And she extends the scoreline to 4 goals now for the T-Birds. 3 minutes remaining.
I'll be really curious if Thunderbirds now vary up their opportunity, considering that the Giants are on when it comes to their 2-point shots. They've got the accuracy, they've got 2 players, and of course they've got Dwyer, who is phenomenal, and Leatherbarrock is really good at setting herself up for the rebound in this situation, because it's not going to take very long for them to be able to level up the scores after another 1-point shot.
Well, another fake and another super shot for Sophie Dwyer. And it's just 2 goals now. Long ball through Graham to shoot from where she passed off from in the previous play. Way too short, but taps it in. Cleverly done. Through getting the 1-pointer. Again, 2.5 minutes now. Time is running out for the Giants. They need to score here. Hay, short. Price, underhanded pass. A lot of interplay between that centre and wing attack. Need to get it into circle. Dwyer can't be the one to do it. An electric drive from Hay. Great speed. But Dwyer not wanting to shoot against the baseline. The 1-point shot choice, Georgia. I've got to ask you, was that the right decision?
Well, considering how on song they've been, I would have really genuinely surprised by that. And I think they should have really tried to take the riskier 2-point, because there's time is running out where there's less than 2 minutes left to play. They need to be brave here and go for the riskier shot, because it might be the difference in this game.
Well, assistant coach Nerida Stewart has one hand on her head, kind of leaning in, thinking ladies pose. A lot of food for thought in this final 90 seconds as the Giants again, a coach killer off the centre pass. And oh dear, the T-Birds, they've got the momentum and they have possession off a Giants centre. Ball is well and truly in their hands. Top swing. No goaler opening up. Baseline option now. Graham having to relieve pressure under post. Through with the longest of shot choices. There we go. Closer to post. Comfortable. She'll get it done.
And really, that is going to be the one that decides it. That was the opportunity there. And again, the 1 point. I wonder if they'll be ruining that opportunity. And if they would redo it right now, they'd go for the 2. Well, it's a bit of a scramble here in the attacking third for the Thunderbirds. But of course, Georgie Horges there for the pickup.
Well, excellent effort from everyone in the back line of the Giants to try and come up with something. The only person who will come up with ball is Graham with the 1-pointer. And the game will be done. 30 seconds to go, 5 goals in it. Giants, they'll have their final crack now. Dwyer has nothing in front of her, has to go high. Hey, lucky to pull it in. And again, bodies everywhere. This time the umpires do call it. They let the time roll on though. 10 seconds. No hurries. Price finds the front option for 2 points. They get it done. Leatherbarrow with the last goal of the day. But it'll be a win to the Thunderbirds. 56-53. And that will round out the action here at the Ballarat Blitz. The Thunderbirds, what a convincing weekend for them. Giants up and down. What have you made of all of the action, Georgia Radjic?
Absolutely, Hannah. It was a great weekend of netball. We were treated to 4 fantastic games, really different things coming out of each of the 4 games about each of the teams that played as well. I think it was great to see so many training partners, academy players come through at this level. And I also think, we've got a little bit of insight of potentially what's going to happen this Super Netball season, but also for the seasons to come with who played across the weekend.
Well, so many thoughts, so many takeaways. Can't wait to hear them all on Netball Twitter, hashtag Ballarat Blitz. And of course, we are here thanks to the support of the City of Ballarat and the Victorian Government. What a weekend. The Ballarat Blitz is always one of my favourites, and you put it on the calendar early because of the calibre of this kind of netball. Let it continue into the Suncorp Super Netball season, kicking off the Saturday, 5th of April. Of course, the Vixens heading to Adelaide to take on the Thunderbirds in a grand final rematch in round 1. So if you want to get tickets to that one, head to Ticketek. And of course, Vixens home games, John Cain Arena. Get those from melbournevixens.com.au. So much to look forward to. George Radchick, thank you so much. I'm going to see you at the annual fan day for the Vixens at Fed Square. What are you most excited for between seeing the Vixens' new merch and a fun day out?
Well, honestly, always meeting Foxy is a highlight for me as well. So, and of course, we'll be here for Bound for Bendigo as well in a couple of weeks. So that's another exciting thing. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Thanks so much, Hannah.
Well, thank you, Georgia, and thank you again to the City of Ballarat and the Victorian Government. So much to look forward to on the netball calendar. We'll catch you at the next one. For the Giants, that's because White wants the backspace, but not if Tilly Garrett has something. Not wanting to shoot from the mid-range. Dwyer ships around, but again, Leather Barrow closer to post this time, gets the one. And it's a Giant centre pass. Equally clever, working to circulate Williams. Back now to Frew, long range. Oh, it runs around and it goes right through. Lauren Court lining up. Doesn't work out. Great rebound from Lucy Austin.
It really did look like it came off the fingertips of Yongi with the defensive. I also think it's really interesting coming into this quarter. Whoever is shooting to the right of your screen has won the quarter. So we did see the Giants start the game off really strongly. They brought it back.
I mean, the previous play, way too short, but taps it in. Cleverly done. Through. Getting the one-pointer. Well, excellent effort from everyone in the back line of the Giants to try and come up with something. The only person who will come up with ball is Graham with the one-pointer. The game will be done. 30 seconds